Okay, let's do some instancing in Bifrost with Maya. Basically, still have the same setup here. We have our point scope right here, and that's showing us the points that we have. And on these points, we will put in some geometry through instancing. Let's see what we have here. So I'll just open up the window. I docked it. I'm being good, docking the window for you. I do really like floating windows because I like to pull them around. Let's get rid of the point scope. I don't need it. You can keep it. You can always just, shift out, disconnect like this. You can put it over here and keep it for later. If you wanted to use it again, there's lots of ways you can do it. I'm just going to delete it. I'm going to put it into final. And let's do tab, create instance. Perfect. And let's put that into points and instances. So we have these wonderful balloon shapes here. And what this is when you don't have anything connected, obviously we have no instances connected right now, it's going to do this. So what I'll show you really quickly is, first I'll just clean up my outliner for now. Teapot, teacup. Okay, I've selected both, middle click drag. And when you do that, you will get a grouped set. And if I connect this to instance geometries, it works like a charm. Get over here, open my window up a bit for you. They are both there in the graph and they're instanced on the points. So you can do it like that if you don't need to have individual control over the materials. Although we'll look at that in a minute. So let's do it individually because I want to do it individually. Later on, I need the control. So disconnect this, shift out, just delete. Going to bring them in one by one. So my teacup and teapot. And same, they go into instance geometries. And the only difference is now they're two separate nodes instead of one grouped node. Let's pull the terminal over. Here, tab, randomize point scale. I want to add some variety. By adding randomized point scale, we're going to get a lot of variety. And you can, of course, read more information here, but it's pretty simple. It's just going to randomize the scale on the points, which are our geometries. And here, if you go to distribution, you can select a different curve for that randomization. You could do, for example, constant will give you a very controlled look. Everything's constant, so it's very easy to control. Let's see what happens if I won't go that much bigger. It's very small. That's the only thing you don't get a lot of scale. So I'll put this back down because I'm going to go to Bezier. And when you use Bezier, it does give you quite a different reaction. So if you go, say, to 5, you get that scale. That's why you keep your values a little bit controlled. And this would be the minimum value. So how small can it be? I'm going to go quite small. And let's see how, and you get a lot of variety. So I got small, I got big. I like that. It looks weird, and I like that weird. All right, and yeah, the other thing would be your axes, which isn't the greatest to change if you don't want a lot of deformation. That one looks okay, actually, because it's in Z or Z, so it's not that bad. But you do see you get some deformation here with the teapot. But it just depends what you're doing. With this, I want it to be pretty even and round. All right, there's just one thing I want to show you before we stop. So about viewport, let's go to the graph. Now, if you're doing this tutorial and you're like, why do I not see anything? And maybe the whole time you've had a hard time to see anything in your graph, in your viewport, go to the terminal of your Bifrost graph, and maybe this is off. So what you want to do, this is where you control your terminal, this node, and what is seen in the render and what is seen in the viewport. So you want to make sure that everything here is on, or you can turn things off if you don't need them. That's always a good thing. All right, next let's go to adding some materials.